Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to bonus content. So Joe from Dabeco Games was kind enough to demo Tectonic Shift and Duality. You can find those videos on my channel. I just posted those. But after we were done, after the hour and a half, 2 hours of demoing, we actually loaded up Havenfall on Tabletop Simulator, and we just kind of shot the breeze a little bit, talked about it. He talked about the expansions that were available for this game. If you want to actually see us play Havenfall, I covered this a couple of years ago. If I remember, I'll put a link in the below description, and you can actually watch us play it. But out of all the games, this was their first one. It's a nice little 8-bit game featuring very familiar, monsters and, your 8-bit graphics and the like. You can read more about it here if you'd like. But yeah, check out Havenfall if you haven't already. If you live in the Pittsburgh area, I was told by him just tonight that he will be out Game Masters on 10/22, so next Saturday, as of the date and time of this recording. 10/22, around 2 or 3 o'clock, he'll be demoing Havenfall at Game Masters in Westview, Pittsburgh. So if you are watching this and you live in the Pittsburgh area and you actually want to see a demo of this, head up onto Game Masters in Westview and you can actually meet the developer. All right, well, on to the bonus content.
Hey.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Uh-huh. So how's everything with Havenfall? Just doing pretty good with that?
We have 25 left.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we ended up selling at a lot of the local stores that we'd never really asked before outside of just simply selling at Game Masters and another store. And then over the last year, we started just kind of asking around. And I don't know if you've been to Four Horsemen in Robinson.
Oh.
But they ended up buying 20 copies last fall. And the idea was they were going to split them between stores. But he's like, no, I just ended up selling all 20 here, so I'll buy 10 more, and my other store will buy 10. And
heck.
so it was really cool there. And then New Dimensions bought copies for every store they had. And they bought them in June. And then in August, they said they sold all of them, so they want to buy more. And
holy cow.
It's just been kind of a cycle that I haven't really had to promote online just because the stores have been selling them.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Are you planning to reprint them at some point, or are you?
No, I think because we have expansions, but the problem is we only did a quantity of 500.
Okay.
And the minimum, that's kind of the minimum you get from publishers.
Okay.
And I didn't want to print 500 expansions because that's also 200.
Right.
It'd just be a massive waste. And I kept trying to do I offered people, I was like, hey, I could do almost kind of booster packs that instead of having an expansion box, I designed the base game to hold everything. I was like, I could just sell a pack of through GameCrafter. I was like, I could just sell a set of here's the heroes, here's artifacts, here's leader cards, and here's the new board, and just sell each of them at $10 or so, or whatever the value price would be. And people are like, no, I want something in a fine box. I was like, but keep in mind the base game will hold it. And I did this 3 years in a row of doing polls, and it never even came close. It'd be 1 out of 10 people.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay, because I was like, keep in mind, I can't release the stuff otherwise. And they're like, no, it's fine.
That's so weird.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, this just drives me crazy. I kept thinking maybe I'm just asking the wrong people. And I would even ask my friends, and they're like, nah, yeah, I want a box.
What?
I was like, you're not even going to use the box. It's irrelevant.
They just want the box. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I was like, I could just give you a box.
Right, yeah, I mean, you might as well just go to Amazon and just order something from Amazon. Exactly, just right.
Yeah, here's some brown box. Yeah, so that's kind of our plan next year is to go to Origins or Gen Con. I forget which one has more of a publisher meetup kind of vibe. But our goal is to go to there and basically just pitch all of our ideas, because we're going to release Tectonic Shift through GameCrafter, where people can just order them as they want. So we don't have to deal with all the shipping, and we'll probably order 200 to sell into stores.
Gotcha.
Just because that's so easy to do, and the game's a lot smaller and cheaper. And then if publishers want to pick that up, they can, and then the same with Duality.
Gotcha. So Havenfall right now you can't actually get through GameCrafter, or you can?
Correct. That one it's
Can't.
only purchasable through our site.
Gotcha.
That one we self-published and everything, and
okay.
we just sell them directly out of our house. For the others, we just don't want to do it anymore.
No, I understand.
A lot of extra stupid work.
Yeah.
You mentioned Havenfall has some expansions. Did you think about maybe a big box and then pushing that to GameCrafter and just...
The problem with like GameCrafter is it costs a lot.
Yes, it
especially
does.
as like
Yes.
prices have gone up. That even Tectonic Shift, it was only 148 cards with a couple tokens, was
Right.
$45.
That's ridiculous.
So I had to cut it down to 126 cards. So I had to remove some stuff to get it down to a smaller box with less sheets printed, and now it's 30.
Right, but even still, it's $30 for a card game. Not a whole lot of people. I mean, this is just personal experience, but like when you look at it, the problem is that GameCrafter, it doesn't mass produce. When you mass produce, like with Kickstarter or whatever company or producer you go with, when you're printing thousands of copies, you can develop them for much cheaper. But if you're going to go small with it, GameCrafter, I've seen games on GameCrafter go for like 120 bucks. It's like it's a good startup for prototypes, but it's not great for like mass producing.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to knock GameCrafter, because I know a lot of people that have like developed their prototypes through GameCrafter, which is awesome. But it's kind of sucks that the price is so high on these things. But
yeah, because I was like, $30 isn't bad, and if we do like 100 or 200, it only costs us like $8 to make them, and then we can sell them for 20, 25.
That's more realistic.
And that's like and that's kind of the price I was aiming for. Was this feels like a $25 game, because it's like Star Realms, which sold for 20 when it came out, but this has more content in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's kind of like where I was aiming at for that one. And then Duality is we're still trying to figure out like. That one I'm assuming a publisher will pick up by the time we release it.
Right. Have you ever done like a Kickstarter or like a crowdfunding campaign to maybe help you with all that?
We did for Havenfall.
Okay.
And we even did like Kickstarter video, and we put like $1,000 just into the production of it.
Oh wow.
And stuff. And we hired a company to come out and like film us and did all the stuff. And we raised I think we needed 21 and we raised 11,000.
Ooh, yeah.
And like so we reached like 50% or something. Maybe I think we may have raised a bit more, but the idea that we ran into is the game was done, and people are like, well, if we're helping you with Kickstarter, what do we get out of it? I was like, well, you get extra leaders. We're going to make a single player. I was like, you get some unique cards that will be limited. And they're like, well, what else are we going to get? I was like, that's kind of it. I was like, I mean, it's a fully finished game, so it'll print right away. And they're like, if I'm giving you my money, I want more. I was like, what kind of greedy shit is that?
Yes. No, I agree. I completely agree. And I was
like, I don't want to make more. I was like, the game's a good figure for that.
The fact that they're getting extras already for the Kickstarter pledge. I mean, I mean, there are other companies out there that do 3rd reprinting, 4th reprinting, 5th reprinting, and it's the same game, except for maybe slightly different graphics. That Dark Tower game that's just coming out through Kickstarter, there wasn't really a whole lot of extras going on there. It's just a reprint because it sold out so quickly. So some of the people that you're meeting on, Kickstarter or whatever, they're the 1%. You know what I mean? They don't represent all of us, just so you know.
Yeah. It was weird because I kept getting people like right away. People were like, oh, this game looks really cool. And I realized what I should have done was just what everybody else does for Kickstarter is just hold things back.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, it's also going to include this card and this deck. And as you keep reaching it, and the whole idea was you were just going to release all of it anyways.
Right. The stretch goal. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And just the stretch goals are all fake and made up. All that stuff was done. And I was like, that's what I should have done. And with Duality, it works perfectly because with that one, it's like Smash Up. You can just keep adding factions to it.
Oh, that's
in the
cool.
sense of you just release more stuff.
Right.
But yeah, as I've been making games, I'm usually just smarter at my errors of my way.
Well, no, you're a lot farther ahead than. I mean, I've always thought about making my own game, but I honestly wouldn't know where to start with that. And I mean, the learning curve for stuff like that I'm used to reviewing games, not developing or publishing, and that side is completely different. So that would be. Yeah. I don't know how you guys do it, honestly.
I'm even lower on the. I'm lower on the tier. I just play them. That's all.
Right.
That's all I usually am doing. I was like, I'm just going to play video games today.
Right. But that's awesome that you're working for yourself, though. I mean, it's, with Havenfall, you kind of did your own thing, which is awesome. No boss, no publishers to please. But at some point, if you get big enough, you're going to have to offload it because you're going to, you're going to have no life, especially if you got kids, pets, wife, whatever. It's just too much.
Yeah. It's literally just I work full time. I spend most of my time okay, I don't get on the computer till this time in a day, so I hang out with my wife for X amount of time and go hiking or whatever we're doing, and it's and then I'll work for a bit, and then once it's 10 o'clock I just want to play video games.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 1 hour to yourself or whatever it is. You might
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to just work like unless I have deadlines for games or I'm doing freelance. I was like, I don't just want to work all day. I was like, designing games is fun occasionally. It's not fun to do permanently.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that developing a game is not playing video games. You're not playing anything. You're working a second job or whatever it is.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, I see you on Duality all the time when I see you on Steam or whatever, but I can't imagine that you're enjoying yourself. You're probably balancing cards. You know what I mean? Like you're
it's
just
literally like
you're balancing cards.
I'm just watching matches and I'm just teaching the game and tracking stats.
Yeah.
It's fun to show people the game and watch people like, oh my gosh, because they'll figure out like fun combos and just watch their minds like click as they figure stuff out. But a lot of times I'm like, I'd rather just be playing.
Just watch these two it's more fun, right? Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I did create a room.
Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. It was just like I just literally just talked to you guys Wednesday.
Yeah, it was.
And within 2 days we're already filming. So
hey, if you end up doing anything else with it, like any major updates or whatever, feel free to reach out and we'll do another
I think
video.
by the time whenever I have more of an official version where like have official card art like for several factions, because right now there's just 4, and it's not exciting to play the game when there's no versatility in mixing things up.
And if I ever see you at Game Master, like in the later future, if you ever have like physical versions of Tectonic Shift or Duality, like just feel free to if we meet up at Game Masters, I'll be happy to like film it with my phone or something.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll actually be at Game Masters next weekend on the 22nd is we're going to be showcasing Havenfall as he's doing a developer day there.
Oh, okay. I might
I'll be there. So. If you're out there, feel free to stop by.
Okay. You said it was not this Saturday, but next Saturday. The 22nd?
Yeah, the 22nd. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll mark it.
Yeah, I forget the time, but it's probably going to be around like, I don't know, 3
o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when the other developers were there. It was one of those like pay $5 to enter and then you get to play board games all day or something like that, if I remember.
Okay.
But yeah, that was he's hosted these before. So
okay, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the same if you ever I do have save files of the expansions for Havenfall is on tabletop. So if you ever want to see those or play them, let me know.
Okay, cool.
People have definitely said the game is more fun with the expansions because I've added in like additional mechanics. There's new colors to choose.
That's great for normal people. What hurts with me is like I've got all of these games. I'm getting 5 not to brag. I'm just saying I have 5 press copies in the mail coming. I got one tonight. The less expansions, the better.
For you.
The easier the game is to cover.
The quicker I can move on.
Because I've got a queue, So, but I totally respect. I mean, I liked Havenfall when I did play it. I do want to play it again at some point. But yeah, what do the expansions add to Havenfall? Like, is it just you said more colors and?
Yeah, the first expansion is called Return to Ember, and that's one of the little towns on the big board.
Okay,
and that one adds an arena system. So if you remember Havenfall much, is like you can go fight monsters when you kill them, pixels break off, and outside of players like interfering with spells and stuff like that, you're usually not too concerned about when I fight something. I just want my pixel. The arena system adds a new challenge to the monster, and you mix cards together. I can even load it in if you want to see it. I'm probably going to explain it poorly.
If you want.
Yeah, and it's up to you if you don't even want to record it or not. But
you're fine. I'll probably just I'll figure it out.
Throw it in as bonus.
I'll figure it out.
Bonus content, yeah.
Here we go. This one is not going to look appealing at all because it's literally just...
What's 8-bit?
The game, yeah.
Right,
it's more so like there's no scripting or anything going on. It's just a table.
It's all good.
I'll wait till it's loaded in for you guys.
Yeah, so I don't have to see the
sharing bandwidth.
Yeah, right. There we go.
There we go. So yeah, these are just the monster deck. You've seen this before. The cards will come out, and then this is the arena system up top.
Oh,
you'll notice I did have a path leading on the board that I had full intentions when I made this that it would go up north.
I remember you talking about that when we first met at Replay FX or whatever it was.
I probably made this stuff back in like 2016, 2017. It's just been sitting here. But what you do is you shuffle a reward deck and challenge, and you reveal the top ones. And when you go to fight a monster, you just simply have the option to challenge it. And that means you just match these based on their tier. So you can see this is a silver card.
Okay.
So you do the silver challenge.
Oh, okay. So it makes the monster more difficult, but you get some kind of reward for doing it.
Exactly. So you can see, hold on to this card. You may return it at any time to rearrange the 3 monsters.
Okay.
So if somebody went to go fight the boss, you're like, oh, let's mix this up, and you got to fight that instead.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And the second somebody clears these, you then just reveal the next two.
Okay. That's interesting.
So now this is a bronze, double the lower health of the monster. Yep. So in this case, this would become a 8-6.
Okay.
Whereas if you go to fight the boss with that, that's a 22-11.
Yeah,
so
that's ridiculous.
You do not challenge the boss with that. Then when you get gold ones, let's see if a gold one shows up real quick. There you go.
Oh, okay. Add a random leader that is not in the game to your discard pile.
So you get an extra leader, but you have to double the monster stats.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I see that.
Not an easy option, yeah. And that's the same thing as like these could be anything. Opponent spells are free and you can't play your spells. That is very risky to ask for a free leader. So that's kind of, it was just adding this arena system, and then it doubled the amount of heroes. So instead of 20, there's now 40. Doubled the artifacts, and instead of 8 leaders, there were 16.
Okay.
So just doubled the overall content. Then the second expansion adds a new color to the game.
Oh, cool.
So instead of 4, there's now white, and white's kind of a turtle where it kind of you build up, and then you go all in, where you can kind of play like 20 cards in one turn.
Gotcha.
Wow.
All right, and folks can purchase this on your website right now. Like this, I bought this game off of you back at ReplayFX, and that was a while ago. But people can buy it now on your website and whatever copies you might have on you, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, that's where we're almost out. So because I'm dropping off more copies of Four Horsemen, and then with the event going on at Game Masters, at that point, I'll probably just be doing another sale, and then we'll probably be sold out by then.
Wow. Any plans to, I know we talked about this, but in case it doesn't get in, do you have any plans to sort of rehash this again and reprint a second edition or anything like that in the future?
No, that would just be looking for a publisher if they want to pick the game up.
Okay.
Is they could certainly see like sales are really good with the game. People are a big fan of it, and that we have 2 expansions that people were like, here you go, here's triple the amount of content. Use it as you wish.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. All right. And if folks are interested in learning more about this one, we didn't go over a demo of this, but I think we did cover this on our YouTube channel. And
yeah, you did. Yep.
Yeah. So we probably didn't. You probably face palmed as we were playing. Probably questioning.
Oh, that was good. I was excited because Adelaide put Havenfall in her top 10 games of the year.
Oh, yes.
It is. This game gives me high blood pressure, but in such a good way. It gets my heart rate going every time I see it. It's like I just want to play this.
Well, the 8-bit. I mean, growing up in the 80s, I had a Nintendo. That was my first console, aside from the Atari 2600. But this gives me a lot of Dragon Warrior vibes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
we had an Intellivision growing up when I was really little, and I remember my dad lent it to a friend and they broke it.
Oh.
So in return, instead of buying us a new one, they just gave us a Donkey Kong arcade system, or like I shouldn't say arcade system, like an arcade
cabinet.
Right. So it was this massive, huge thing that took up so much space, and all we could do was just play Donkey Kong. I was like, "What a ripoff!"
That's awful.
Yeah, and that thing was worth a lot of money, so we ended up selling it and getting a lot of money back. I think that we put that towards our Nintendo.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was eventually a win.
It worked out in the end.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm living for this right now. The arena.
Yeah,
really?
The arena is a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
She's that kind of push your luck. Anytime a push your luck game comes out, she's always pushing her luck or taking the higher tier challenge because she likes to YOLO it all the time,
Yeah, these ones are so irritating because like before, when you go to fight a monster, you're locked into that location. If you add a challenge to it, you're locked into that challenge with it.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
And that's where just like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and fight this very simple 4/6. I have lots and lots of stats. I can easily kill it. You're like, yeah, let's go ahead and say that opponent spells are free. And then even though you get this pixel and you get a free little benefit, you just lost so much stuff because they threw all their free spells at you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and you're like, well, that wasn't worth it. And then your luck is like the next spell like thing comes out and it combos really well for the next player. It's like, I should never have done this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's gonna be funny.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. That's awesome. I'm probably gonna spend the next 2 hours editing video and stuff. But hopefully, this was very educational. We've been recording for about 2 hours now. So,
oh my gosh,
the fact that you spent 2 hours helping us out and doing all this. That's pretty awesome. So
yeah, it was fun to chat with you guys.
Yeah, you too. Anytime you want to, show us anything else, feel free to drop us a line. And
cool. Yeah, the same if you're ever looking for a player for anything, or just want to play a game with the creator or whatever you're feeling, feel free to shoot me a message. I do have a 4th game. It's just a game I'll never release unless a publisher, like, I literally gave it a hard stop because the game was too big.
Oh, really?
I was like, this would cost like $160 to print. Nobody's going to buy it. And people love the game. I didn't even make a rulebook. I literally just explained the game, and people are like, this is amazing. And I won't put it on the workshop because I just don't feel like answering questions. Because that's all I know. I'll get a million questions.
Well, you already have 3 games now that you have to answer questions on, and now there's a 4th possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I made that game between Havenfall and Tectonic Shift, and it's such a fun civilization sandbox game, and all these fun little interactions, and you play as cavemen, and I built out this great thing, and then as I was making it, I was like, oh, that's a lot of pieces. I just started looking at how much I have to do. I was like, no one would ever buy this. This is absurd. And I just quit after like a year. I was like, I'm moving on, and that's how I made Tectonic Shift.